So let's begin by looking back at last week. Obviously, good that you got your point in the end from that match. Was there much of an inquest, though, after it?
No, not a massive inquest. Obviously, we reflected on it and having looked at the video, and we had probably a little wobble after they scored their first goal straight after half-time. So that was a team talk, went out the window quickly. But, there wasn't anything too serious. We just get on with it and know that if we're going to concede goals at times, we could have probably defended better as a unit on both of the goals. But just to react quicker and more positively and get back on the front foot.
I think you said after the game about not taking for granted that you would always win. So would you say there was maybe lessons learned from that one?
Well, yeah, certainly that you're not always going to be in a winning position. Once we went 1-0 up, we didn't really put the foot on the gas and we weren't as creative in the attacking third as what we probably can be. And then it's lesson learned, don't go in your shells if you concede because you're not always going to be in a winning position. But we've got good characters in there, they took it on board and as we knew they would and we've been training really well this week.
So on to the FA Cup. Is it a distraction or something you're looking forward to?
No, really something we're really looking forward to actually. We know how big the competition is in everyone's eyes. Certainly locally there seems to be a lot of interest in it, so we're hoping for a big crowd.
It's been a couple of years since you've had a good run and you have had some good runs in the FA Cup, so how valuable would it be to do that again this year?
Well, at the minute locally we're on the map because of league form and the start to the season, so it would just be really good to reinforce the good start to the season by having good cup runs, and obviously this is the biggest domestic competition around, and with it brings a lot of revenue if you're successful. Certainly the stage that we've entered into it now, already we're into big revenue if we get through, so there's obviously the added incentive of that, and it can certainly change the fortunes of a club and certainly financially make it a lot more viable.
It's the first time you've come in at this stage. How nice has that been?
Oh, absolute bonus, isn't it? Yeah, we're delighted to come in at this stage, and it just seems that bit closer to real dreamland material if we can win a couple of games. But first and foremost, it doesn't come much bigger than obviously playing against Wrexham.
Not that long since you played them in the league. Is there anything you can take from that game into this weekend?
Well, plenty, but obviously we have the video coverage of their game since, so we know what they're about, and potentially a very good team on each occasion that anyone comes up against them. They've got some creative weapons in their armoury, and we're aware of that, but we're not scared of it. We don't go into games scared. We've got to be equipped to be able to handle their strengths, but concentrate on our own.
And that works both ways, doesn't it? They're going to be looking at you thinking, it's not that long since we played them, What can we learn?
No, I mean, I've heard the manager come out with pretty much the similar stuff, that he respects us for where we are in the table, but that he believes they'll come and beat us, which is a manager aspect. You've got to think that, and you've got to breathe that confidence into your players. We trained really well today. We know that we can crank it up a bit from, even though we've been playing well. But with a full crowd behind us, we're expecting a really good game, that's for sure.
Slightly different rules in the FA Cup with 7 players available for your bench. How does that affect things for you?
Just the fact that we're probably, if we can put 7 on the bench, we will do. But we'll have to have a chat with Rachel, see if we can get a couple of the walking wounded on there. Because I'd like to see everyone benefit from being involved, and being involved in such a big tie.
Would it be something that you'd like to see maybe carried forward into the league, or is 5 substitutes enough for you?
Well, you can only use 3, but I've not really thought too much about it, if I'm honest. Five's quite enough. It's not that we need to make a song and dance and make it 7 every time. We'd have struggled to fulfil our 7 on the bench for the vast majority of the season so far. So it's not really a big issue.
So on to your team news. I think was there a knock or 2 picked up last week?
Yeah, yes, there was. We're waiting on Dom Knowles again. Hopefully, he'll be okay come Saturday morning. He's had an injection. Other than that, Ryan's come through this week really well. Been training and the game on Monday and the friendly, and so has Jordan Thewlis. So we've got a good selection headache now, but we'll wait till Saturday before revealing all.
And finally, last week, of course, you extended 3 of your players' contracts. How important is it to do things like that at this stage of the season?
Well, perhaps we brought it forward because we've started well, and I think when people have been so honest and showing such great endeavour throughout the training sessions, and even if they don't have to start to be made to feel that they really belong, and they do. They're driving everyone on, and I think Lloyd, Aggers, and Kelvin are a big part of things, and are going to be a big part of things for things to come. So if it increases that sense of belonging into what we're trying to achieve here, then I thought it could be a good thing, and everyone was in agreement, which is great.